there's this guy, I've mentioned him before, but his name is King Cobra JFS. And he is just a strange man that lives in Casper, Wyoming. And he is a bizarre human being. Um, just a weird fella. But he has this whole thing where he's kind of like a bit of an incel, but one of the things he says is that he constantly references like the types of girls that you should get, where he'll say like, oh no, don't worry, Tubes, one day I will have a he doesn't just say one day I'll have a girlfriend. He always specifies like one day I will have an of age, alive, unrelated, female born. Like he has 6 or 7 things he lists because he doesn't want to get called like a pedophile or transphobic or this or that. So he throws out all these of age, alive, feminine identifying. Like he throws out all of these, and it's always just so thoroughly entertaining.
What kind of dick pills is Cobra taking? Yeah, they're called King Cobra dick pills.
He's just a weird dude.
A 12-pack of Bud Light in my system right now. I'm feeling pretty groovy.
And he's like drunk 95% of the time. But he does these like 7-hour streams where he just gets plastered.
What's up, fella?
So like if you guys ever hear me say that's most definitely what's up, that's what I'm referring to is this guy.
Whenever I want to, dude. Go fuck yourself.
It's like you see he gets super drunk.
I've spent several years
Okay, just wait.
being patriotic. Fuck the haters!
And that's how I feel. Then he just passes out on stream for like 3-4 hours.
Stupid fucking liar. Fuck you!
And he has like whole shouting matches with this. Hold on. Thank you, Tanner. It should read this.
Tanner Kading donated $4.99 through Super Chat.
Thank you.
Been really enjoying the YT live streams. Been subbed for a few years. Love all of the content, man. Keep it up.
Awesome.
Folded hands, light skin tone.
Folded hand, light skin tone. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. I appreciate you. And I'm glad you're coming by. I'm glad people are jumping out to the YouTube live streams who didn't love Twitch, and we're getting a lot of cool people coming out. So I'm glad to hear from you, my friend. And thank you for the $4.99. Very generous. I appreciate you. He looks like he's struggling. So this guy, like, you can go and you can see videos that the community of the Cobra, like Cobros and the people that follow him, you can see videos of him going back to like 2010. He's been uploading since then, since he was like in his teens. Now he's like 31, 32. But what's happened is early on, he was kind of endearing. Like he was just a guy who was weird, but he worked his butt off to try and make something of himself. Even though like genetically he wasn't dealt a great hand. He just worked his butt off to try and make something of himself, which is pretty admirable. But over time, he's just slowly like fallen apart and gotten to the point where now anybody who says like, hey dude, you gotta go get some help. Like you are an alcoholic. You are flat plaster drunk 95% of the time. And you stream it all, like you need help. And then he's just like, it's a troll, it's a hater. Like at this point, his trolls and haters are just people telling him that he's an alcoholic and he needs help, but he doesn't want to listen to it. And so he's currently like, people have been following him for years and years and years, and he was doing really well. And then he started to kind of fall off a few years ago, get into some trouble. And now he's like at rock bottom. And so everybody's hoping that he just figures it out and solves it and gets, clean and stops drinking so much. But in the meantime, he does stuff like this while insisting that he's an amazing human being.
Fuck you.
So watch, he tries to get up.
You don't like being beat up. You don't like it. You don't like it. You don't fucking like it. Then maybe you shouldn't fucking go against the grain.
Oh.
Stupid. Fuck. Beat you up, you piece of shit.
And then if he's told, like, dude, maybe you should hop off stream, he tells you you're a troll. But look how drunk he is.
God damn it! Broke my fucking cigarette. Fuck!
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Fucking social media doesn't give a shit.
So, like,
you.
he's technically what's known as a lol cow, right? So kind of like a Chris Chan type character, or a DSP, where he's just kind of like a kind of bad guy. Like, he's just not a great dude. He just sits on like cam and e-begs all day, and when people kind of give him crap for it, he comes back and he calls them trolls, and then he just meanwhile gets super plastered. He'll get people that donate like $20 for him to go get food, and he'll spend it all on cigarettes and booze. And so at this point, he's just like live streaming his slow descent into alcoholism, and people keep trying to help him and be like, dude, go get some help, man. Like, but it's fascinating to watch. And this guy lives relatively close. He's a few hours away from me. But like my brothers, they're very close to him. They're very close to him. But like, you see how he is in this video? If we go back, look at this video from him in back in the day. Here it is.
Hey YouTube, this is King Cobra.
So this is him in like his early 20s.
I got paid Wednesday,
And he was just like he was working at Wendy's. He was trying to make something of himself. He was like a little goth emo kid, but it wasn't that big of a deal. Like, it was weirdly admirable. Like, he had more drive to make something of himself than most people do, because he didn't have a great, genetic card dealt to him. But he still works his butt off, and he would still go and work graveyard shifts at Wendy's to try to do it. But in this video, this is infamous. He decided he was going to dye his hair on stream. But like, because he thought he had the day off. But watch what happens. Okay.
Shake it up.
Make the hair dye. Okay. Okay. Oh, he's got a phone call.
Hello. Oh, what were you saying? No, I was shopping. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh my God. I'm out at the apartment. Son of a bitch.
So he was supposed to work,
Well, I feel like an idiot.
and he got his days mixed up. So they tell him he needs to go into work later, like around, probably a couple hours from this moment, right? So what would a normal person do? They'd be like, oh, well, I'm not going to dye my hair right now. I'm going to wait until after work or tomorrow or something. He says, oh, I'll just go for it. So
It doesn't work out like that. That was a major mistake. I thought it was Friday, not Thursday. 5-4, so. Ah, here it is.
so he gets his gloves on.
Hands, but no.
Not doing this in a bathroom, of course.
Hold it in your hand. Roll it around.
You're supposed to do this like in the bathtub, because the ink will stain
No, you shouldn't
anything it
wear
touches, including your skin.
towel. It's very messy, but I'll take my chances.
And he's just doing it in his living room.
It's a lot cheaper and a lot better for your hair than doing it in the salon. I guarantee you that.
Okay.
But truth be told, I don't have to get in the shower and get completely in a couple hours, so that's not gonna happen until I get off work.
Yeah, so you see all of that ink on his
Oh yeah,
His forehead?
all over my fucking head.
Yeah, that's gonna stain him blue. Like for weeks.
Yeah, it's a chick product, but you know what? Fuck it, I don't care.
Okay. He needs more. Oh, there's so much, dude.
Yeah, the back of my neck is soaked in this shit. Oh, that's low, man.
Dude, it's
just
all over his forehead. And his back. Oh.
Yeah, I'm just making an ass of myself now. For your YouTube entertainment, no less. God damn it. This is why you want to put a towel on before you do this shit, people.
But he's in too deep now. So he's like, we're in too deep. We'll just go for it. We'll just roll with it.
You can take time to do your eyebrows too if you want.
Eyebrows. Good, good.
Do my mustache too. Oh yeah. Why? Skin's all blue from the black hair dye.
So then he spends like 30 minutes laughing
Holy
at him,
crap.
laughing into the microphone.
Holy crap. I look like shit. Wow. This is highly amusing, actually. Well,
Bear in mind, he has to go. He has to go into work in like 45 minutes.
So tomorrow I was work till 5 to 1. I'll go into the courthouse tomorrow and pay my ticket off. So yeah, I made a couple mistakes today, but you know, it could be worse, like I said. So as you can see, that the thumbnail of this video, if it looks like this.
Oh man!
People are like, what the fuck happened to King Cobra? Good lord.
See, so like, this is why he has fans. Because back in the day, he was just like a hardworking dude who's trying to make something of himself. And he had a pretty healthy attitude when it came to like trying to go to work and stuff. He was a little ditzy, but he worked his butt off. And he would do stupid stuff like this that was just thoroughly entertaining. But over time, he just started like, eventually one of his actual trolls got him fired from Wendy's. They would call into like Wendy's corporate and tell them that he smelled bad when they were in the store and just make stuff up about him, that he was like putting stuff in the food. And so they eventually got him fired. But when you look at him like now, it's just not even, yeah, this is him yesterday. It's just not even close.
Sarah, thank you for your $3 donation to Cash App.
Like, his brain is just fried. It's really, like, it's honestly pretty sad. But it's a testament to how bad alcoholism can do you over time. Like, you've got to be on top of that stuff. But there's a whole community around this dude that just follows his content. Yeah, cockroaches climbing over. And they just follow him through life, everything he does. The recent saga is that he basically started stalking a lady that he got interested in, and he was convinced he was just being a nice guy who was friends with her parents, and he would just show up to her house randomly. So, like, he turned into kind of just a perv, crazy drunk, and it's honestly pretty sad to see. But if you ever want to be thoroughly entertained, this is a great place to go. Probably the best thing ever. So one of the other things about him is that he thinks that he has magical powers. He thinks he can like use wands to do magic. Apparently, if you go to Casper, Wyoming, where he lives, you can actually go and you'll see him around town every once in a while. And when he walks around, if he's at a stoplight or a crosswalk with the red hand, he'll take out his wand and he'll start like trying to get it to do stuff to cross the street. His name is King Cobra JFS. Or if you just look up King Cobra on YouTube, there's all these channels, Bite Size Cobra. I'd honestly start with Bite Size Cobra vids, because he does like documentaries covering this guy, and he can introduce you to all of the secondary characters in the Cobraverse. like Warlord, who's this guy in the red. He's got like his own mess of issues. He's had like 3 kids. A bunch of them have been taken away, but he shows up randomly in videos and is just the most annoying person on the planet. But this thing was utterly amazing. Look at this. Look at this. Okay.
Clear the stink alert. Facebook, what's up? It's been about a year since I've shaved my head, and it's definitely.
Let me see where he brings it out.
They talk some smack.
So a troll sent him a letter.
Give me shit just for waving my wand in a crosslight.
Okay.
As it personally affects them in some way, shape, or form, you know?
Oh yeah, one thing to know, he mixes like Monster Energy drinks and red wine and calls it Cobra blood. And that's what he drinks. Like red wine and Monster Energy drinks. And it's like one of his trademark mixed drinks that he makes. It's utterly amazing. Yeah, I bet he bought the Hogwarts Legacy Collector's Edition. Probably. I don't think he can afford it though. Like one of the other things is that he will regularly like stream, and he's like, yeah, my account right now is $39 negative. So if we get some donations to catch that back up into the positive, that'd be great. Stuff like that. Like, but anyway, watch this. A troll sent him a letter, right? Remember, he thinks he has magical powers. He's that like unfortunately delusional that he thinks he is actually magical.
Crush for the fans. I also got a letter from the White House to cover up my address for obvious reasons, but there you go. All right, so let's take a gander here and see what we got. And honestly, I want to keep this letter just because of what it says. All my trolls love to talk smack about my dark magic, but right there, read it in print, ladies and gentlemen. I want to read you this letter because this is just a trip, dude. Dear Joshua Saunders, Josh, or as I and my team know you, Gothic King Cobra. I have always said I know the best people. Everyone who knows me knows I know the best people. They always say that about me, the best people. When the time comes, I will do more than this, but for now, I would like to personally thank you for your help with ISIS. Your magic has done much to help us with our war against the terrorists. It is great, tremendous. I know you are very busy in your fight, but it would be for the best of this nation if you were to use your magic to help in my re-election. Sincerely, Donald J. Trump, 45th President of the United States. Right there. Right fucking there.
Look how big the
So
font
people who
is.
don't believe in my powers, take a look at this letter right here.
I mean, I'm convinced.
That's pretty sweet, I'm not gonna lie. Excuse me. You know, and I thought I was hearing things too, because during one of Trump's speeches, they talked about how they took out the leader of ISIS, and people in the room said, praise Cobra's magic. I was like, nah, I'm hearing shit. And then I just got that letter in the mail today. Cheers to that.
So he just admitted, like,
Now that we got that
he
out of the
hears
way, let's
things.
talk to Dave.
He was watching a speech that Trump gave, and after the speech, he thought he could hear the crowd chanting, praise Cobra's magic.
I know I'm not trying to talk
And he thinks, for real, that President Trump at the time sent him a personal letter thanking him for using his magic to defeat ISIS. And, like, this is one of those things, like, the trolls are pretty creative, and they do mess with him in pretty hilarious ways. Praise Cobra's magic, yeah. It's just like, if you ever want to go down the rabbit hole, there's so much stuff with King Cobra. Honestly, like, the way I would personally recommend that you start is go to this playlist and watch the Wendy saga that they cut together. It's a 3-part thing, 3 hours total. If you think that that's too much time to devote to this, you have no idea. There's so much here. But it's like 3-hour long chunks of the documentary, and it covers from when he started back, June 27th, July 11th, 2012. So back in 2012, when he first got his job working at Wendy's, and he does these little videos of him. Like, this is what he looked like back then. He moved into his first and very own apartment. It was a big deal. Him and his family were super proud of him because he got his own place. And you just follow this arc of him starting with all these hopes and dreams and then just slowly succumbing to every single vice.
On some pepperoni, drinking some Mountain Dew.
And yeah, look how big this pepperoni is. This is like, he eats the whole thing. And this is all he does in life now. Like, this is all he does. He just sits in front of the camera, eats like garbage, and drinks. And it's like sad, but people try to help him, and he won't take the help. It's kind of insane. But the trolls are on the subreddit, pay pigs on the discords. Yeah, the trolls on the subreddit. That's where the guy that came up with the letter from Trump was on the subreddit. And honestly, it's brilliant. It's freaking brilliant. They've done a couple of other things. He's got a workbench. Yeah, well, what he does for a living, he started selling wands that he makes, the same wands he uses to defeat ISIS. You know, he uses like this workbench and he makes wands, and then he lists them on Etsy every once in a while and he sells them, and it allows him to make a living. Like, it's actually relatively cool. Like, yeah, cool. You made a living doing that. Should I buy one? Yeah, I contacted him at one point and asked if I could get a couple of wands for me and my brothers who follow him and keep an eye on him. But I'm always conflicted because I'm like, if I buy that, it might be used to just help him live and pay him for like the entertainment he's provided. But also, like, he's probably just going to use it for booze and smoking more. Most of his streams now are just filled with him hacking and coughing while being extremely drunk, because he smokes endlessly and then drinks endlessly. And it's honestly really, it's yeah, see, it's honestly kind of sad. But this is why, actually, like, he lives in Casper, Wyoming, and Casper, Wyoming is in the middle of nowhere. I mean, if we go Casper, Wyoming, and you look at this. So this is Casper, where he lives. So it's in the middle of Wyoming, in the middle of nowhere. I'm down here in northern Colorado. But he's up here. And up here, the thing about Wyoming that you might not know, like, this is what it looks like regularly. It's flat and freezing cold. So the wind blisters regularly at like 50, 60 miles an hour commonly. It's freaking freezing, and there's nothing to do. Like, actually nothing to do. It's like, even if we drop it in here, maybe here, you can just see, like, it's just empty. And this is why, like, Alaska has a huge problem with drug use, right? It's because people have nothing else to do when it's freezing cold in the wintertime. So they go and they just drink and do drugs. And it's part of the reason that Alaska has one of the highest rates of, like, drunk driving in the country. And so does Wyoming. And it's because people just have like, honestly nothing else to do. And you see just how empty it is. Like, my current family lives up in Wyoming. They live in Laramie, which is a smaller city. But it's the same kind of thing. And yeah, it's a weird place to live. It's a weird place to be. If you live like in the UK, I don't think there's a place like this in the UK where it's just literally nothing in the distance for as far as you can see. It's crazy. Looks like central Minnesota. Minnesota at least has more trees and lakes and stuff. This is just prairie, because this all used to be underwater back when this was an ocean back in the day. And so there's no foliage, like, except for stuff that has been very specifically planted. And like, if we go, I'm sure if we go into the heart of the city, it's probably a little more interesting. Okay, so we got like some small houses, nice and snowy. Okay. This ain't bad. It's a cute little place to be. Like I said, Casper is one of the bigger cities in Wyoming. To put it in perspective, I think the entire state of Wyoming has less people. In this entire state, there's less people than in Denver. So, like in the whole state, there's less people than in Denver. So it's just very, very small. Yeah, Laramie's down here. This is where my family is. And Casper's like an hour and a half, 2 hours up further north of there. But people have asked him, like, why don't you move to Colorado and like do collaborations with other YouTubers and things and like try to socialize a bit? And he just doesn't want to. Time to move to Wyoming. Honestly, like as a retirement place, if it's a place where you just want to go and live a quiet life, it's not a bad place to be. But if you have even the slightest amount of ambition, most people try to leave. There's a mice experiment that showed that bored mice would drink morphine water, but the happy mice, but the happy ones with a park and playmates didn't drink morphine water at all because they were satisfied elsewhere. That's really interesting. Viking Otter, that's really interesting. And I mean, I believe it. Like it's the case. Like when you just have nothing else to do, people just end up drinking and they spend their time doing other stuff. Whereas like if you have friends and family and you can go do other stuff with your time, you can do that and fill your time with that. But at this point, he just has like, he doesn't work, so he doesn't socialize that way. The only people he actively socializes with are like that warlord guy who is there's a dedicated documentary on Warlord that these guys did as well, somewhere in here, and you can see him. But like he just has no good influences, and it's pain. But look at this, Wings of Redemption reacted to it.
Videos. All right, we'll do that.
And some of that horseradish.
What the fuck's he got on his neck?
The fan who sent it. The next time I did a cooking video.
He's got like a
Yeah, if you missed it, Wings of Redemption's married now.
leather belt on his neck. Like that can't be comfortable. Like what do? You roll out of fucking bed and you put your marijuana shirt on and you put on your fucking leather collar and that hat.
Apron on. They sent. Let's go ahead and put on our badass cooking apron.
It's kind of crazy when Wings of Redemption is the one giving you lessons on how to be a responsible adult.
Take a look at that.
Yeah, it's badass if you're like 14 and playing Modern Warfare 2, man. Like if you ever want to get a girl's pussy as dry as Sahara Desert, put that shit on while you're trying to impress her with a meal.
Ladies and gentlemen, this here burger is going to make you hungry.
I need Wings of Redemption
I
to
doubt-
roast me. I want that.
This
in my
burger's
life.
gonna make me hungry because like the hat by itself probably has a smell that's literally a tangible barrier.
Tangible barrier. Wow. Yeah, Wings of Redemption. Yeah, if you missed Wings of Redemption, Frederick Knutson has a really good video breaking down him. But this is, quick recap, this is Wings of Redemption. He's an old school Call of Duty YouTuber who did like the old school Let's Plays and stuff. He is an OG. But in recent years, he's like totally burned all of the social credit he's ever gotten. Honestly, recent years is kind of generous. It's been like a decade of this. Because back like 10 years ago, he raised a bunch of money to get weight loss surgery. Then he came out and said he was going to spend like $10,000 of the $15,000 he raised for the surgery, paying off his mobile home, which was just like, it was straight up scamming at that point. And he's done that like 2 or 3 times now, and he's pushed all of his friends away. He also has a ton of trolls, and he has a big anger issues, and he feeds the trolls a lot. Like he's got his own swath of issues. And he's another person that's commonly referred to as a lol cow, which is a internet thing where basically it's just he's a bit of a train wreck, and he provides entertainment in being a train wreck, and so people will watch him to get that entertainment, and then he is either unaware or he's potentially even smart enough to feed into it because he makes a living doing it. And so like you can't really blame him. Like he's getting what he wants out of it. So yeah, he's a lol cow in the same way that like DSP is at this point. And King Cobra JFS is also a lol cow in his own way, but not in the gaming space. He's just a lol cow because he's a really weird dude from Casper, Wyoming, who thinks he has magical powers and that Donald Trump sends him personal letters.
Of all other people in the fucking world. Like, you could put that hat in a doorway and it would probably be better than like a shield and rainbow.
Grab up some of that Texas toast. We got 2 pieces of it right here.
I've said it before. I'll say it. I kind of like Wings of Redemption. Like, I know that he probably, I don't think he's the best friend. Like, he'll throw you under the bus if it's gonna be the best thing for him. But I kind of like he's just fun. He's a funny guy. I think we'd get along.
Here, beautiful. Those chimichangas I mentioned earlier, we're going to put those in the microwave. Get them ready to.
Is he literally cooking Texas toast in the microwave instead of using a toaster?
Oh yeah, that's good enough. On that one.
Motherfucker, you burnt this shit.
Now to
Like
our bottom bun. What should we do next? Drop a slice of this here.
I know what you should do next. You should get some fingernail polish remover and take that shit off your fingers and get a new hat.
The hat, maybe. I kind of like the fingernails. I'll be real. I've always liked the black fingernail look.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Look at it.
Yeah, let's go back and look at that. Look at this bread. This bread looks like my fucking rank in Rainbow Six, which is moldy bread bag.
See, that's funny. It's just funny. You got to give him credit for that. But he's making like, what is a chimichanga sandwich
Like, he
with
literally
American
has
cheese?
$2 store fucking chimichangas, and I'm using chimichangas in the loosest form possible. This is basically discount meat wrapped in a tortilla that was frozen 5 seconds ago with a piece of American cheese over top of it and 2 sad ass fucking microwaved Texas toast breads. You can tell he's not cleaned
Look at this pan.
that frying pan in a minute. Like, look right down here. Like, this is like remnants of like grease and shit.
That pan, because people have been following King Cobra for so long, people have clips of this pan when he first got it, like 10, 15 years ago, whenever it was. And this thing used to be like all silver. He literally has not washed this pan in years, in over a decade. He just cooks in it, and then he sets it aside, and then he cooks in it again. On loop for years. He might dump out the grease a little bit, but he also, in previous cooking videos, he'll cook something like a burger in there, and then he will take the burger, put it on the patty, or put it on the bun, and then he takes the pan and he pours the grease onto the burger as like a sauce. Like, yeah, how's he even live? Dude, this guy probably has the best immune system on the planet. Like, he's going to survive any, like, World War III that could possibly happen. He'll be the king of the cockroaches because he's got the immune system of one. Like, this guy, I'll tell you what. Like, if you're eating off of this thing for a decade, you're probably robust. You've got a lead belly for real.
Because, like, you could tell this frying pan was this color, and down here, like, it like slowly is getting grasped where he actually grabs it.
Yeah. Look at the inside, dude.
Fuck up.
Yeah.
Bug. Dog. Y'all see this shit right the fuck there. Like, you see this wall? You know what that is, right? That ain't mold. Nah, motherfucker, that ain't mold. You know what that is? That's roach shit. That is where fucking roaches have been climbing all over his motherfucking wall and took a shit.
Yep. There's some of that that's probably grease. There's probably some grease that splatters up there. But these big chunks that have, like, coalesced and coagulated, those are all roach droppings. I've sold some really nasty apartment buildings in my day, and this is pretty rough.
And he's cooking beef in a dirty ass
Alberto,
pan
I'm sorry.
inches from it. How do I know? I watch fucking Hoarders and fucking 600-Pound Life. I see this shit. That's roach shit.
I love horseradish.
Does
There
this
you
dude
go.
brush his
Some
teeth?
nice,
Like, this motherfucker got Dragon Age origin teeth.
Dragon Age Origins teeth. That's horrible. Yeah, no, he doesn't brush his teeth. He forces people to donate, and then he'll brush his teeth. But like he said, unless he gets $100 in his Cash App, he won't brush his teeth. If he gets $100, he'll brush his teeth. But unless he gets that, he won't do it. But like, it's just stacked like bacon and then Doritos and then whatever this is.
I just seen that.
Dude,
That's okay. We got time to let.
Liver King doesn't brush his teeth either. That dude's gonna drop dead any day now. Like you can't live like Liver King and survive very long. My grandpa got really into like the Jordan Peterson thing because Jordan Peterson also stopped eating meat and was like, I feel amazing. I have never felt better. It's bloody amazing. And my grandpa got really into it. He tried it and his doctors were like, you're going to be dead in like weeks if you don't stop this. There's not enough nutrition in there. However he's doing it, who knows? He's probably taking a suite of supplements, and the dude also makes like $500,000 a month. Like Jordan Peterson is super rich. He's able to afford whatever like soul transplant from the youth that he needs to stay young and healthy. And like you can't do that. But the Liver King dude, that guy, he's just something fishy's going on with that. But yeah, I you can't survive very long eating nothing but like meat, raw meat, not brushing your teeth. There's a reason modern humanity evolved out of doing that stuff, out of eating raw liver, out of, you know, walking around and not taking care of personal hygiene. There's a reason things have changed. Liver King's on steroids. Yeah, probably. He's probably on a suite of things.
Let the burger
Every
cool
guy
off.
that tried to hit me up.
Oh, I let it cool off. We'll get the.
He looks like every dude that hits you up will put a fish at me.
Including you, honey.
Dog, I'm over here looking at his teeth every time he opens his mouth.
His wife is hilarious. I really like his wife. She's super funny. She'll also make fun of him and tease him because she gets it. She's like, oh, the trolls are razzing you. If you laugh along, like they don't have a problem with it. They're just like poking the bear because it gets a reaction. Stop giving them a reaction and they'll stop poking. So she plays it up and teases him and jokes around. She's really, really funny.
Because he's got Dragon Age Origins teeth. Like he literally has like teeth that are like brown. Like they're not yellow anymore. They're brown. I bet you if he used mouthwash, that shit would be like literally torture. I just picture this dude in your DMs being like, I seen you in my recommendeds and I have to say you're gorgeous. No, Dragon Age Origins teeth. It's a game. Go look it up.
Let's get it.
You know they're going to take this and try to make some kind of drama out of it. I'm doing this for fun. And,
I know.
like, I had nothing against King Cobra.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. That's way good.
Man out there getting his.
Yeah. Fuck it. Let him make his
That
money.
Texas toast looks
Here's that
jamming.
cross section
Not
of
the
all
rest
that
of it, but the Texas
deliciousness
toast.
in the middle.
Dude,
I don't know anything about this.
I'm like
but-
sweating just
Why?
looking at what he's eating.
Dude, huff that shit.
Do all kinds of zany, crazy
He bakes wands.
bacon cheeseburgers.
You
on
got
my
a picture of
channel.
these wands?
At least he has a hobby, dude. Like, holla.
He's doing it. Again, like, this dude is self-made. He went from having, like, I forgot what I think he said he has a mild form of autism. He's like a high-functioning autism. And he also has Asperger's and stuff like that. And he also had, like, the astigmatism, whatever. So, like, his eyes naturally go in different directions. He recently got a surgery to fix it. But he started with all that. Yeah, you can see, like, right here. He started with all of those things against him. And the dude lives his life doing whatever he wants. He makes wands for a living. So he's self-employed. He's his own boss. He does whatever he wants. And he has thousands of people that watch him, send him money, gifts, recognize him in public and ask for pictures. Like, this guy is living many people's dreams. So as easy as it is to poke fun at him and be like, oh, look at the pan, it's gross. Like, he still is doing something kind of remarkable. Like, and you got to give him credit for that, which is where I'm at. Like, regardless of what you think of the dude, however gross parts of his existence might be to you, he's still doing something relatively remarkable and even admirable, you know. Yeah, he does e-bag. Yeah, he does stuff like that. The overwhelming majority of his money comes from wands, apparently, that he makes himself and then he ships off to people. And that's pretty awesome. Like, a lot of people, I think, would love to live a life where they can just do whatever they want. Not whatever. I mean, he's not rich or anything, but like where they can just sleep in. They don't have to go be like under any boss's thumb. They can, they have fans that follow them around and keep an eye on them. Like, he's living the dream. As weird as this dream may be, and for some of us this might be a nightmare, he's living the dream. And for that, you got to give him a little bit of credit.